So y'all, it's KP, the sports chick. When are we going to start having the conversation? I know all of you don't care out there, but when are we going to have the conversation about when we're going to bench Brock Osweiler? Let's just keep it real here. Let's go through some stats from Sunday's game against the Chargers. He had 3 picks. There was 1 fumble, but that really wasn't his fault. He ran in for a touchdown. That's really it. But his stats on the season are 59.9% of his passes were completed for an average of only 5 yards per attempt. He has 12 touchdown passes and 13 interceptions, 10 of which have come on home field. At least he's taking, I'll say this first, at least he's taking responsibility this time. What grinds my gears, okay, is when he does a press conference after the game and he'll say, well, I think our progress is great. Like, I think everything's going well. I think that over time, our chemistry will build, everything will come together, but it will come together. In theory, that's great. Like, I'm a fan of the slow build, because real success doesn't get achieved unless you work. Well, I put it this way. Real success doesn't happen overnight. So I get the slow build. I get that. But in football, we don't want to hear that. You keep that to yourself. And then you tell us, we play like, this operative word, we play like crap. You always conclude it. But if it's your fault, you say, all right. If it's someone else on the team, you're like, okay, well, we didn't play well this week, and we need to work on that, and we will make the adjustments so this will work towards this not happening again. Or if it's your fault, I was wrong. I played horribly. I will make the adjustments, and I will be better. And that is this last week is the first time that Brock Osweiler did that, and that is progress. However, we are now. There's 5 games left, okay? The Texans are still number 1 in their division. Excuse me, but for how long? How long? Because if they keep Brock Osweiler in, do you really... Okay, the Texans play Green Bay next week. Green Bay's defense has been playing horrible, horrible ball. If Brock Osweiler can't run through that defense, I mean... This is, and I'm recording this before Green Bay's Monday night game, so it remains to be seen how they play the game before they play the Texans. But as it stands right now, the defense, I don't know what's going on over there, but they have not been playing well. Something is not right. And whenever I feel, excuse me, whenever I feel that something has changed quickly, or as I like to say, acutely, I chalk it up not to talent. I totally chalk it up to a wrench being thrown in the operation and usually affecting the chemistry. What has happened? Did somebody get in a fight? Is somebody aggravated with somebody else's play? Is somebody not happy with someone else's effort or drive or motivation or work ethic? Anytime something changes abruptly and gets worse over time, that's what I attribute it to. And I think that's what's going on with Green Bay here. I also think back on the Texans, that's what's happening with DeAndre Hopkins. Because the argument I hear and the argument I gave at first, as far as why part of the reason why the Texans aren't winning as many games as they should, or why they're not playing as well, is because I'm like, well, maybe if they threw a little bit more to DeAndre Hopkins, and then that would be the situation. But now I'm starting to believe that that's not totally the case. I think that DeAndre Hopkins has, excuse me, just as stake in the losses as Brock Osweiler does. As far as the accountability, not just as much, but a big part of it. Because I think that DeAndre Hopkins is still in his feelings about the whole contract situation, and he's just not there. He could be separating more, and he's not. It's just he's not the same player he was last year, and that is the biggest difference I see. Is that he's not getting thrown to a lot, but there could be something behind the scenes that we don't know about. Maybe him and Osweiler aren't getting along or something. And I'm totally speculating here, obviously, but with DeAndre Hopkins himself, I think there's something that he's in his own feelings about something. Because, like I said, there have been multiple situations where, Brock Osweiler is completely inaccurate at times. There are passes going over people's heads. The routes are inaccurate, grossly inaccurate as far as passing in a lot of situations. But on some of those passes that do come to DeAndre Hopkins that he could have caught, or he gets but drops and things like that, I think that in those situations, there's some parts in that situation where he could have created more separation from. He's very talented. He can do that. We've seen him do it, where he could create the separation, but he hasn't, or he won't. Which one is it? So, like I said, he's not the biggest factor, but he's a big part of it. So then, now back to Osweiler. What are we gonna do about this? Is he gonna, like, the coach said he is not taking out Osweiler or he didn't say this week, but he's not taking him out. Everybody's starting to talk about when Savage is going to get put in. I feel like if Osweiler does not get it done against Green Bay, he needs to go out. He needs to sit out. Like, sit it out. I mean, if the Cowboys can do it, we can do it. And I know the circumstances are different totally because Dak is a beast. I mean, this brother's stiff-arming folks, and he's bringing out new X Factors all the time. But point being, if you don't get the job done, you should not be playing right now. So I think Green Bay will be a great indication of if he should be benched or not. And, another game's going to be in the cold, and I know that the game is going to be in Green Bay and all that stuff. So the odds are in Green Bay's favor, but Brock Osweiler's not from Houston, and he played in Denver, so he should be used to cold temperatures, and I don't want to hear that. So what do you think? Do you think Brock Osweiler needs to be benched this week or next week? And that's next week, win or lose. Let's put it that way. So let me know on kpthesportschick.com on YouTube. Or you can hit me up at kpthesportschick.com, which is my social media hub. Find everywhere I'm available on social media, and leave comments there as well. Check me out.